Nowadays, it seems like everybody is getting into real estate. And what's interesting is as more and more people get in, it also seems like the expectations that newer agents have when getting into real estate is that they should be earning a really high income. When I would interview people to join my team 3 or 4 years ago, or 5 or 6 years ago, almost everyone had the same goal for their first year in real estate. I'd ask, so what's your goal? How much do you want to earn? And 9 out of 10 people would say, I want to make $100,000. There was this benchmark in people's mind. And I can share with you that today, the majority of people want to earn $200,000 or $250,000 getting into this business. So what happened? Why are real estate agents looking to earn more and more money? Are they just greedy? Or is there a reason that we're hearing this and seeing this happen on the ground level? I'm Sean, and I'm a real estate coach and trainer. And on this channel, I share what being successful in real estate really looks like on the inside. If you find this valuable, hit like, hit subscribe. It makes it easier for people to find us. And if you want to dig deeper, you can use the link in the description to learn more about starting a career in real estate, or to connect with me. We can talk about how you can grow your business. So why do real estate agents want to earn so much money? Well, the reality is that there's actually a number of different factors that all contribute to it making sense for a new real estate agent to want to shoot big. Well, the first reason that it actually makes a lot of sense to shoot big, to go for big goals in real estate, is that you don't know how much money you're going to make. Now, in organized real estate, the way that it traditionally works at the majority of firms and the majority of real estate organizations is that you go out and get a license, and that's going to cost you somewhere from several hundred to several $1,000s. Once you have that license, you then join a brokerage. And at most brokerages, the traditional model is that you pay a fee to the brokerage to be a member. And then in addition to that, they might take a portion of any commissions that you make, but they don't give you any clients. In fact, after you're done paying the brokerage and paying to be a member of the board and having your license and putting gas in your car, you've got to then go and find people. So what this means is that we don't know how much money we're going to make every year, because ultimately the amount of money that we make is going to come to how many deals we find, secure, convert, and close. So the first reason that it makes sense to set big goals in real estate is you don't know how much you're going to make. So if you set your goal on par with what you need to earn to put food on your table and care for your family, and you come up short, then you don't have enough to make ends meet. Whereas if you aim for more than you needed and you come up short, then at least you're not in a bad situation. So the first reason it makes sense to set big goals in real estate is to protect yourself from coming up short. The second reason that it makes sense to set big goals in real estate is that people tend to come short of their goals. The reality is, most people psychologically, when they come close to reaching a goal, they start to feel security. And when we feel security, we can make ourselves more prone to temptation. So we might let ourselves skip out and go do that distracting activity. We might not do the last 5 phone calls that we really know we're supposed to do, or we might take an extra week of vacation. And while those are all things that are great, and I'm not saying that we don't want to have a rich and fulfilling life, at the same time, what I am saying is when we get close to our goals, the human tendency is to take our foot off the gas. And that can be damaging, because sometimes we might not realize the implications of how long that means we're going to be out of our rhythm. And it could knock us off our trajectory and make it so that we just don't ever get to our actual goal. So the second reason that it makes sense to set big goals when you're starting in real estate is also in that same zone of you wanting to make sure that you don't come up short and protecting yourself from the tendency to go easier on yourself when you get close. Now, the third reason that it makes sense to set big goals in real estate is actually for the long term. Because in real estate, we need to have systems around ourselves. And big goals create the need for big systems. I'll explain. Imagine that your first year in business, you sell 4 homes. So once per quarter, you're closing a property. And that was enough to make ends meet. And what you did was you set all the systems up in your business to allow you to close 1 home per quarter. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the systems you use to close 1 home per quarter when you decide that you want to sell one home per month? Or what if you want to sell one home per week? By setting big goals, what it forces us to do is imagine our business at scale. And it creates a need for us to look at everything that we do and say, okay, well, this works if I'm doing this just for this one person today. Yet what if I needed to do this for 100 people tomorrow? And what you'll find is that not only does it protect you from having to rebuild your systems in the future, it also forces you to take a little extra time in the beginning and create systems that will grow with you and frankly be easier in the moment that you're in right now. Because if it's designed to accommodate 100 people and you're only using it on one, well, that thing's gonna be running beautifully. So the third reason that it's important to set big goals is because it sets you up for future success and it makes your life easier in the long run. Now, another part of the landscape of why real estate agents tend to set big goals is an exciting one. The fourth reason is that simply you never know what you're capable of till you try. I'll put it another way. You would amaze yourself at what you could accomplish if you went after it and believed that it was possible. So I think the fourth and maybe the most important reason is because you owe it to yourself to prove to yourself what you're capable of. A lot of people got into real estate, myself included, without a background in sales, with no background in business. All that I knew and all that so many people getting into this amazing industry know when they first get started is that they want to see what's possible. And what happens is you come into this business and you might have your first few months or your first year and you might not realize how big of a business you could grow. But as you start to grow and implement more and you start to see what other people are growing and creating, it inspires you. It inspires you like crazy. So by being in this environment where you're around all these people who are challenging themselves, sometimes you say, you know what, I should go for it. And frankly, if I'm gonna go for it, I wanna go for something incredible because why not? This is my opportunity to show myself what I'm made of. So the question I think we really need to ask ourselves is, are real estate agents really greedy, or does it make sense for someone getting into this business to challenge themselves to be the best that they can be? Now, I'd love to hear your answers in the comments section, but I'll share my perspective. Real estate attracts entrepreneurs. This business is one where you have the opportunity to become great at selling a product that people want and need and can change their lives. And at the same time, you also have the ability to become a business person. And we're talking about big goals and big businesses. The reality is that in real estate, you can create multi-million dollar businesses just selling people homes. Some of the biggest real estate businesses are doing tens of millions of dollars of commission every single year just helping regular folks buy and sell homes because they scale it to that level. As a person getting into this business, the majority of people who take that jump are doing it because they have that spirit in them. They look at it and they say, hey, what's possible? And I think that's something that's exciting, and I love the fact that that gets rewarded. The second reason that I think it makes sense for people to shoot for it and go big if they're getting into real estate is that this business is risky. The reality is that about 80% of people who get a real estate license do not renew after having 2 years in the business. Said plainly, that means that 80% of people are flunking out of real estate, or only 1 in 5 succeeds at just continuing past 2 years. Doesn't mean that they're making good money. So if you're getting into real estate, I personally think, well, we should go for it because otherwise it's not worth the risk. If you're getting into real estate with the hopes that you'll have an average salary, you might as well have the security and get that average salary with a corporation where you get benefits and it's the same paycheck every year and you don't have the ups and downs that we have in this business. So the second reason is this business is not worth the risk of getting into unless you're going to exceed an average salary, because the majority of people lose a lot getting into real estate. So I'll just say this to wrap it up. If you shoot for the stars and you land in the sky, you'll still have gone further than most anybody else. And if you set big goals in your business, then all those other goals that otherwise might have intimidated you will actually just become stepping stones that you pass along the way. So whether you're just getting started or you have an already successful business that you want to take to the next level, I challenge you to be the best that you can be. And if you want our support in doing that, feel free to reach out using the link in the description or drop a comment below and let us know what your answer to the question we shared before was. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll drop our next video soon.